Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So today, very excited, I'm going to put some paint, some colour into my Lilly. Now, I've been thinking about it and I decided I'm going to do a white Lilly with green highlights and maybe a little bit of yellow. So yeah, there's so many, like, let me just show you a photo of the lilies. Like, seriously, the colors, where are they? I did a couple screenshots. Look at that. Look at them. It was a toss-up between the orange one down the bottom corner, but I kept coming back to the white ones. And I guess the thing is, and there's another photo as well, like, look at that orange there. And then I was like, well, I'm going to drift into the red if I'm not careful, and the yellow, like I'd combine all of those colours, but I kept coming back to the white Lilly. So that's what I decided on. And then the final clincher, my final inspiration I found was a photograph of a napkin for sale on some website. And I thought, that's where I want to go. See that? And you know, the other reason, I sort of feel like I've got so much colour here, and then we're just pinks here, that I'm thinking I need white and green here, just to give my eye a bit of time to go, oh, there's actually 3 prompts here. So that was my final theory, if you will, on, you know, how it was to come together. So I haven't had a chance to glance in here. Do I have a white pen? I do. Okay. That one's the white one. The green. I sort of want that bright green, but not too bright. I just don't know if that's the right colour for me. Let's have a look at the gouache paints. Yeah, that's apple green. I think that's where I want to be. And then there's the white paint in there. Okay, let's have a little play first before we get too ahead of ourselves, in case at the last second I change my mind and we do an orange, but I don't think I will. So I've got a little scrap of cloth here. There's a paintbrush, pencil. Okay, now get myself organised. I might just turn it around. So my white has a lot of pink in it. Obviously contaminated a little bit. So I might just, won't hurt having that little bit of pink in there, but let's just see. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So we're going to need a fair bit of white to do this big guy. Now let's see how this pencil, Inktense pencil, behaves. So if we draw in colour in our leaf, because I might end up doing a little bit of both, then apply water. Oh yeah. So I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit of both. That there's a slight warmth about this white versus that white. So it won't hurt to sort of combine, I think. All right, let's very carefully move that. Let's get our Inktense pencil first. And what I'm going to do is just start sketching in a bit of white. Like, I don't think you guys can even see it. I can just see it. It's just about getting a little bit of ink in there. Gee, if I'd done an orange, you guys would have been able to easily see this. I don't know, the last few bunches of flowers I've had have been all white lilies. They've been for friends who've lost loved ones. So I don't know, white lilies just seem to be in my mind at the moment. So that's what we're going with. Just getting a little bit of that pencil down. Same with this. Oh, my tummy's rumbling. I've only had a coffee this morning, so I'm not surprised that things are getting a bit peckish. Couldn't sleep last night. I was thinking about this blooming flower. It's just, I nearly hopped up at some ungodly hour to actually do it. I thought, no, just stay in bed, girl, for goodness sakes. All right. So you can't see it, but there is a layer of the white Inktense pencil there. So let's pop him away. This should be relatively simple, I would have thought. Says the girl who then smears something somewhere and makes a hell of a mess. Let's bring this little guy back in here very carefully. All right, so let's just first of all activate that a little bit. Well, this is riveting viewing, and then we'll come back through with the gouache. Now, like I've said in previous videos, you can use a bit of aloe vera gel mixed in with your inks to stop them from running, but I want that look, that watercolor look. So I'm happy for a little bit of bleeding to go outside my sketch lines. I think, yeah, I really like that sort of softness, if you will. You often see it on printed fabrics where they've been a bit tricky with the printing process, and they've got that little bleed of colour coming out. So now I'm just going back through with a more concentrate version to get a little bit more white. So sort of just building it up. It's a classic watercolour techniques, isn't it? You just build it up. The good thing about this gouache paint is it dries fairly quickly on the palette. So if you did want something that's a little bit more solid, it's there pretty quickly for you. Let me just zoom in, see if that helps, because it looks really cool here, but you guys probably can't see it. See the lines of white coming? So I'm just going to fiddle a little bit here. I think it'll work a treat. And it might be a case of I need to let it dry before I come in with the green, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to come back onto this leaf. We've got our Inktense pencil there already. I've got a wash of the gouache just to activate that ink, but then a little bit of gouache paint, which gives you that nice heavy tone. Then get into the gouache little pad and start laying down more of that chalkiness look. That's it. Maybe I should move it to there, like that, so you can see. So that's my wash that activates the ink pencil that's in there already, and that's the more, if I want to concentrate of the colour, which I'm doing through the centre of all of these leaves. Petals. Oh my goodness, I'm a shocker, aren't I? Doing and speaking. My downfall. Okay, I feel like I've got a bit of gouache coming down those veins. All right. Looks more predominant in real life, trust me. So let's get the wash happening again. Get a little bit more liquid in there. And then I can come in, activate the Inktense pencil that I've laid down first. See, there's a bit of a system happening here. And then come back in. Let's get that water closer. And get some gouache happening in its intense form. Beautiful. It's good when it's intense like that because it's not too wet. So if you don't want to have the bleeding effect, you can easily control it. There we go. All right, get that wash happening. I have a feeling I'm going to run out of some of these colours pretty quickly on this palette. I should slip into a specialty art store. There's a few around in Brisbane, and just quiz them on what's a brand where I could buy just the colour. If anyone knows and can pop it in the comment, let me know, because maybe I want a little brick of the white and a little brick of the pink, because I'd say I'd probably have a few missing pretty quickly. So now I'm into the more thicker, more intense white. Once it dries too, I'll have another look at it and go, well, I could probably go a bit stronger. So everything sort of dries a little bit paler when you're working on fabrics. Well, it does on paper as well, to be honest. So it might be a case of once this dries overnight, I'll come in and, you know, add a little bit more white. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Happy with that. Let's get this wash happening again. Really sucks up the paint, doesn't it? Get that guy going again. I'm not really worrying too much about light and shade on these, because at the moment I just want to impregnate the fabric with this white tone. So if I don't stitch on one of these, I can really see that it's, you know, got this white in it. See what I mean? Coming back through. To really define that tone. Okay, one to go. So give him a wash. This is the easy bit. The next thing of the green. The girl's going to have to be steady as she goes, because it'll turn into a green blob pretty quick, I would say. There we go. Gosh, I just looked up at the TV and it doesn't look very impressive, does it? It will. Could you imagine all the white stitching in there? And oh, different creams and whites and layers and satin stitch and long and short stitch and a bit of running stitch, then come back with the green. I think it'll look really neat and it should really pop on that cream. Now, hang on a minute. I didn't draw those in, did I, with the Inktense? So let's get that pencil back and just lay down a little bit of that ink. Just helps. It's subtle, but I think it just helps build a bit of depth. Do this guy up here. So you guys are watching this while I'm gallivanting with young Susanna. So I've had to pre-record my March videos just so that I had something for you guys to watch. Our retreat will be kicking off today. I was looking at the calendar of when I'd post this video, because for me at the moment it's February, and I was like looking at my calendar, go, okay, what date will the second video for this series go up? I was like, oh, it's the start of the retreat. So you're watching this on the Monday and the retreat starts on the Monday. So probably about now I'll be meeting all the ladies. I feel like I know so many of you and we've never ever met, but we chat nearly on a daily basis when you pop comments in my videos and I start yibby-yabbering, and before I know it we're like chatting away and the years have rolled by and it's like I feel like I know these girls. Okay, now we've got a bud down here. So let's get the white down into this guy. Get our wash. And get this activated, plus it's got a bit of gouache in it. Okay, now a slightly more dense mix. Just to build in some of that white tone. Lovely. Now, the green. What did we decide on? Was it the pencil or was it the... was this the apple green? So where are you in my... It's that one. Doesn't look like that one. Let me just bring that up into shot without spilling. Look, get rid of that paint there. For goodness sakes, girl, before there's a hang of a mess. Get rid of that. You can always mix it again. Gonna have a mess. So according to my little colour palette thingy, doesn't look right. I've gone quiet because I'm like, why does that not look right? Because I've got the wrong... No, have I? What's going on? Oh my goodness. I was looking at this going, how come it doesn't match up? So when I pack these back in, I've put the wrong colour swatch with the wrong... Geez, I need to write on here where they actually belong. I was like, why isn't that not matching? Okay. So I can use that Inktense pencil, apple green. See, I thought that was here. These here don't feel right. I could probably knock that back in tone but I don't think I need to. Oh my goodness, talk about not understanding what's happening here. Let's put that one away because I can go and play now with these. So where's Mr. Apple Green? Is it this one? What's it say? Apple Green. Let's have a little practice and see. Ooh, I only need the tiniest amount and then drift it up. Beautiful. But the tiny, oh, you can't even see it. All right, let's do that again. Look at this. The tiniest of drawing, and then touch it with the tiniest. Look at that. That's going to be perfect. All right, before we proceed, let's have a little look at that photo I found, because the green is the highlight. So I think we want to stay in the center of the flowers, and we want to stay at the bottom of the buds with a little bit coming up, but boy, be careful, girl. Oh, why do I feel so nervous? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's so hard. You just want to go for it, don't you? Let's just leave it at that. You see, I've put in such a small amount. Look at that. Tiny. We can always add more. Let's just steady. Yeah. Gosh, I feel like I've got so much more control when I've got a needle in my hand, a needle and thread. Oh, I tell you. All right, so let's get a little bit down on this edge. Oh, she's getting confident now. Get rid of a bit of the water. Just a little bit, girl. Let's do a little bit through here. Oh, the nerves, I tell you. It's bleeding on its own accord anyway because it's got that moisture there. So that's good. It's softening right in front of my eyes, so I don't have to actually do too much. Oh, yeah, I love it. So let's get a little bit through there, a little bit through here. Maybe I'll just give it a second to sit on the fabric, and it's going to blend on its own accord because the fabric's damp. Yeah, maybe I do that. Just draw it in and leave it. So I wanted a little bit of green through the bottom of this bud. Just let it sit, see what it does. Can you see it? It's blending. How nerve-wracking. I think it's because it's like a complete different colour. Yeah, good. Gosh, I tell you, this painting business is nerve-wracking. Let's get a little bit around the base, up to the tip, around the base. Getting confidence, settle. Don't be getting too frisky with that pencil. Oh. Maybe I can be bolder and I just will work up to it, guys. Remember, they're white lilies in the end, and this is just a highlight, isn't it? It's not meant to be They're not green lilies. Yep. Yep. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let me zoom up a little bit so you can get a bigger view of the green. See, I'm only just doing it. And because the fabric's damp, it's activating on its own, traveling just a little bit. Yeah, I think I need to put yellow into the center. And I think it's sun yellow. Let's have a little looky. What's that one? Sherbet. No, I think I need a heavier yellow. Oh, that was brave. Do I need it anywhere else? Oh, gosh. It looks worse than what it is on camera. Like, I feel like I've really splooshed some yellow around, but no, that's okay. I'm happy with that. Whew, the nerves of it. So the little stameny things, either willow or baked earth. I think I'm going to go willow. Just keep it a little bit toned down until I know, you know, what I'm doing with thread. Baked earth, willow. There she is. And because the fabric's already damp, I suspect I won't need to really activate it. Yep, there we go. The camera's not doing it justice. I am being braver than you probably think I am there, guys. All right, willow's done. Whew. Now, the actual leaves. What are we going to do for them? What colour? Let me have a look at that picture again. So they went quite dark, didn't they? All right. I don't think really it's any of those, to be honest. Let's go back to the gouache and see if there's a green that... I'm going to try this guy, that guy, just to get a bit of darkness. Ooh, nope. Don't do that. See, they've got that turquoisey tone about them. I don't like any of those. And I don't think I like any of the Inktense pencils. So let's have a look at my watercolours and see. Okay, so this is going to be better. That there. I wonder what that is. If I activate it, I've been puddling around here before. Let's sort of get this going. It's got, I think I want a warm tone to my green. Let's see what that looks like. No. Let's get a bit of this guy in here. See what I mean? It needs to be a yellowy green, like a... That's better. No, it's still not right. I guess if it doesn't look right, we can bring our stitch in. That's better. Okay, so it's more true to the colours of the... Might start down here, get a little bit of that dark tone in there. I I'd say I'll be doing a bit of stitch. Let's get a bit of darkness in there. A bit of shadow, shade. Just puddling around in the other green. That's better. What's this next one? Like, I don't stress too much about the leaves because I've got so many green threads that, you know, if it doesn't look right, just stitch over it. It's just fun attempting to paint them. I'm sort of picking up on that darker green too. Okay, now the stem. What are we going to do with the stem? Do we bother putting paint on the stem and just use stitch? I think I will. I think I'm going to leave the stems as they are and then come through maybe in with some little strokey stitches that are at angles. I don't know. I think if I get too carried away with this green, it's going to overpower the whole thing. Not that I don't think it will, because at the end of the day, the lily is going to be this big white flower. So I think I'm reasonably safe, but let's just, less is more. We'll just focus a bit of paint around the center. Let a little bit of white light bounce around. No need to get it too sneak it into the edge of that petal, so then it's really should make that petal pop. What's that lump of paint on there that could be activated and be all sorts of trouble? Goodness me, I tell you. And then a little bit of darkness in there where that joins that stem. Yep. A little bit of darkness there. And then soften it out with that green. And like I said, it just depends, you know, do I even stitch the leaves? It might be a case of they stay with that watercolour, you know, tone there, and we leave it at that. You just don't know how your piece is going to evolve, do you? Sometimes you head off on a direction and it's like, okay, we're going over here now. Well, I find that where everything joins, I just wanted a little bit darker there. Remember we were looking at the picture of that in the book. Might even bring in a bit of brown. Getting confident now. Just push that back a bit. Okay, there we go. Yep. Now the spots. The spots. What are the spots on this photo? Let's have a look. Oh, they haven't got any spots. Gotta have spots. Do we even attempt to paint them in? Do we just leave it and maybe I do some little stitched spots? It what point do you just stop? You know what I mean? I'm just playing with, gosh, I'm not even in camera. Just playing with red here. Is that being too bold? Some red little... I don't know. It's going to bleed because of the dampness. But I don't mind that. I think it's going to just add that little bit of interesting colour. Just a couple little hints of colour coming through that white. I like how, yeah, I like that. It's just bleeding a little bit. And then if I want to stitch them in or develop the spots a little bit more, I can. They're really detailed little flowers actually. There's a lot going on a lily. I get these little freckles, don't they? Just stop. Oh my goodness. All right, I think we're there, guys. I think that's enough. If anything, I might go back to the white gouache and just put a little bit more around, because there might be the odd petal that I don't stitch, so I need to know that it's going to hold its own. So I'm just going to go in and mix, just get myself maneuvered here, in there, and just mix some of that nice gouache and work on some of those lines a little bit more, just to build it up. And at the end of the day, as I said, if I leave the odd petal not stitched or bud, at least I've got that paint represented there. Now that it's dried a little bit, I feel like I can sort of layer in another chunk of paint. Technical speak. I'll have to try another lily another day in the orange. I mean, thinking about all my little sketches, you know, I'm starting the first video with a practice sketch on a piece of calico. I've got them all just sitting to one side, and I'm like, you know, one day I might come back and stitch them. So I'm going to keep them all. Could just drop the iron on them and they're forever gone, but I think they've got potential. A lot of paint up that top edge, because that petal is folded back, isn't it? So that can really be quite dense up there. Now it's starting to get a little bit of shape and colour to it, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I'm happy now. The green has worked out beautifully. Beautiful lily. Perfect. Happy, happy. Gosh, I was a bit nervous. I thought if I get out of hand here, I'll ruin the whole thing, because the green is so overpowering. And if I want to keep painting, because that's what's happening here, I just want to keep puddling. And it's at the point of which, oh, I haven't done anything with that bud. Yeah, so let's get some white on her. Yeah, if I want to keep painting, when I probably should hang up the paintbrush. At this point, we start getting a little bit out of hand. Okay. All right, where's my green? Let's get ourselves a green bud. We can be a bit braver. Let it bleed first, see what it does. Beautiful. See, now I can see that piece holding that flower, like it's sitting out to there underneath, and this thing's just popped out of the top. Yeah, now I can see it. So if I'm going to stitch a petal with white, it'd have to be definitely this one, so that it really shows that that bud underneath. What have I got on there? Have I got green? No. Goodness me. Should the girl just put the paintbrush down now? The sun would be bouncing on there. The sun would be bouncing there, 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 through that, pretty much that whole petal, and then catching the edges of that. Yeah, okay. Stop, stop, stop. That's enough. All right, guys. Oh gosh, I need to lie down. That's exhausting. So I need to let my paints dry, otherwise they can go mouldy. There's such high humidity here in Queensland, so I've got to be a little bit careful. And we've got the right colour swatch back in. There's a pencil missing. Who's missing? So that's all sorted. And then where's my Windsor Newton little colour palette? I do have bigger ones of this brand, but I figured that's, you know, from there you can go anywhere. Like, look at that blue. So that just needs to sit out and dry as well. Okay, guys, there is my Lily. I love her. I love, love, love Lily. So I'll let that dry and I'll be back in the next video, and we'll start playing with threads and working out how we're going to stitch. Love it. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Bye.